The NBA play-in games are tomorrow. I am excited for this. Playoffs are right around the corner. We got a 2-game slate, $100,000 up top. So before we talk about the players in this video, though, before we break it down, if you guys are new, my name is DK. And again, I make content for DFS and for Prize Picks. Prize Picks, they are the sponsor of this video. If you're a first-time user to Prize Picks, you can use the code DKDFS. It'll give you a 100% match up to $100. I'll have it linked down below if you're not familiar. Prize Picks is a player prop site. You build 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 player props and can win up to 25x your money. So give it a try. And if you're looking for premium content, you can check out my Patreon linked down below. So recapping yesterday, so it was a losing day overall for me, but I made a bit back in the afternoon. Losing day thanks to Jaden Ivey, who fouled out and couldn't hit the broadside of a barn on the main slate. That sank me, but on the afternoon slate, I just completely stacked Memphis and Oklahoma City because once we got that starting lineup, I had a pretty good idea that, there was only 6 guys that would play for Memphis with Tillman and Kennard not in that starting lineup. And then I had a pretty good idea that once we saw no Saric and no Isaiah Joe, that they would not be playing for Oklahoma City too. I thought there's a chance that Wiggins wouldn't play either. I think Wiggins played like 8 minutes. So I completely stacked them. What I want to know, though, is how on earth did the John Conchar faders know? How did they know a 6-man rotation that he would play 40 minutes and have 2 points? How did the faders know? That's like a dead serious question. Dead serious. How did the Conchar faders know that with a 6-man rotation, he wouldn't get there and score 2 points in 40 minutes? How did they know? But yeah, I went to Trey Mann, Conchar, Zaire Williams, Lofton, Ousmane Dieng. Then used my stars were Ingram, AD, and Steph. So it was a good day there from the afternoon slate. Again, Ivy sank my main slate lineup, which I was just really, really upset about. But also, on the main slate, how did the Day'Ron Sharpe faders know? 7 active guys, he had played 20 minutes. How did they know that? How was that even possible? Udonis has them. Almost went for 30 real-life points. What is life? What is life? There's a lot of other things I wanted to bring up. Oh, I am so incredibly happy for Quickly and Toppin, right? Last slate, I had a great day. I played Quickly and Toppin, or it could have been a massive night if I had said normal games with Quickly and Toppin. Both got in massive foul trouble. Toppin got benched. Both are huge bust. But same exact scenario. Let's see what happened yesterday. 34, 7, and 5 for Toppin. 39 and 7 for Quickly. Both absolute smashes. And I had Ingram that day too. Massive bust. Ingram yesterday, 70. There's no one that runs worse. I'm really, really happy for Quickly. And I'm really, really happy for Toppin. What else? What else is there to mention? Again, the Pistons faders. The Ivy faders. How did you know he would foul out and the Pistons would only score 80 points in a game? How? How did you know that? You saw just some wild, and this is what I was talking about with minutes, opportunities greater than talent, right? When you have a team that's going to run like 6 guys, like I'm just going to load them up. Like Trey Mann, Ousmane Dieng, right? Zaire Williams, Lofton. Like that's what the end of the regular season is. What else was there I wanted to tilt about? I'm trying to remember. There definitely was a couple other things, but I think I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Lofton picked up 2 quick ones. Luckily, he still absolutely smashed. Half the field faded Lofton, half the field faded Cam Thomas in the main slate. That was wild. But so that was the recap there of everything. Hope you guys had a good day. And let's talk about these playing games. So first, just to mention, like there's a few stars that don't play huge minutes in the regular season that will get a significant minutes bump in the playoffs. 2 of those guys are in this first game. That would be Trae Young for Atlanta, who's only been playing like low 30s minutes a game in competitive games, and Jimmy Butler for Miami playing low 30s minutes. Those guys are going to get a significant minutes bump to around 40, where some other teams have already been playing their stars big minutes, like Minnesota. Anthony Edwards plays close to 40 minutes a night in just the regular season. So how many more minutes can he actually play in the playoffs/play-in, right? So, but I think you can take advantage of that. That's what I talked about with my prize picks video of take advantage of props on Trae Young and Jimmy Butler. But starting with Atlanta, so they're going to trim down their rotation. My guess for the rotation for tomorrow is going to be Young, Murray, Capella, Bay, Collins, Bogdanovic, Okongwu, Hunter. I think that will be the 8-man rotation. I don't think you see Griffin or Johnson. I guess it's possible one of those guys could play a little bit, but I think Atlanta's going to trim down this rotation. With that being said, I know it's not necessarily the best matchup, but I think Trae Young looks pretty good at 10K, just because I think he's going to play around 40 minutes, right? He finally did get a minutes bump the last couple games of the season. He absolutely smashed this game, went to overtime, but for majority of the regular season, he was only playing like 32 to 35 minutes a game. So I do like Trae a good amount, even at 10K. I think DeJounte Murray looks solid as well. He's not really going to get a massive minutes bump. He's been playing a bit more, like high 30s minutes. So I think he will play around 40 minutes, but he's not going to get as big of a minutes bump as a guy like Trae Young. So I prefer Young to Murray, even for the difference there in price. And I also do like Clint Capella. I think he could play a little bit more than Okongwu here. There's games like his minutes will fluctuate, but if you get a game where Capella plays like low 30s minutes, he's over a fantasy point per minute guy. So I think he looks pretty good at the mid-range. I'm not as excited about Sadiq Bey. He should shift back to the bench. I think he's just too pricey. John Collins is 5'3". I mean, he'll probably play high 20s to low 30s minutes. Kind of just indifferent on him. But Bogdanovic going to come off the bench, going to chuck, probably play low 20s minutes. He's okay. Feels a little pricey. Okongwu will play the backup 5. I would just rather play Capella at a similar price point than going to Okongwu. And then DeAndre Hunter, like you kind of know what you're getting from DeAndre Hunter. Should play in a competitive game. Low to mid 30s minutes. I think he's okay. But I don't know if we see Johnson. I don't know if it's going to be Griffin. So that is going to be the Hawks. Moving on to the Miami Heat. So what do I think the playoff rotation is going to look like for the Heat? I think it's going to be 8 to 9 guys. So you're going to see Jimmy, Bam 2, Hero 3, Strus 4, Martin 5, Vincent 6, Lowry 7. And then I think Love, Zeller could be 8, 9, or they could just boot Zeller and go to Love as the backup 5. So I think that would be the 8 to 9 man rotation. I don't think you see Oladipo. I don't think you see Duncan Robinson. So that is my guess for the Heat rotation. But Jimmy Butler is one of those guys that I expect to get a pretty significant minutes bump. Right? I think he's going to play around 40 minutes. It's a fantastic matchup. So I really like Jimmy here. He always comes alive for the playoffs as well. So I think Jimmy looks great at 9K. I think Bam Adebayo looks pretty good too. Again, this is the much better matchup for Miami. I expect Bam to play around 40 minutes. So both Bam and Jimmy look good. I think I like the ceiling a bit more though on Jimmy Butler. And then Tyler Hero, 6.8K. I think he's going to play close to 40 minutes a game. He is sub 7K. So I honestly like all three of the main guys for Miami in this great matchup. The rest of the Heat, not as excited about. Strus at 5.4 feels a bit overpriced to me. Caleb Martin at 5K feels a bit overpriced. Zeller, Love feel a bit too pricey. Gabe Vincent, 4.5. I think I would rather play Lowry at 4K than Vincent at 4.5. I think Lowry probably plays mid-20s minutes here. So on a slate like this, there's not a lot of value. I think Lowry's probably the guy I like the best here for the Miami Heat. Let's move on to Minnesota and the Lakers. So, I mean, I was literally in tears about those Woj tweets, last night and then today with Gobert. I mean, I was like, we are living in a simulation, man. There's just no shot those are real tweets. If you guys haven't, go look it up. I mean, I was actually like laughing out loud in tears with those Woj tweets. But no Gobert, he's suspended. No McDaniels, who punched a wall and broke his hand. I mean, like, I don't even know. I can't with this team. But all right, let's talk about the rotation for Minnesota. So I think you're going to get Karl-Anthony Towns starting at the 5 here with no Gobert. So I think the starting lineup is going to be Conley, Edwards, Prince, Slow-Mo, and Cat. And I think off the bench, you're going to see NAW, you're going to see McLaughlin. And then I personally think it's going to be Nathan Knight playing the backup 5. That's my guess. They could go to Garza too, but the reason I think it'll be Knight is Knight's a little bit of a better defender. Garza is just Swiss cheese on the defensive end. Like, he is awful. He can score, but I think they go to Knight, actually, if they're going to play a backup 5 instead of Garza. That's my guess, though. So, looking at the top guys from Minnesota, I like Anthony Edwards on Karl-Anthony Towns a good amount. I think, actually, I prefer Cat to Anthony Edwards, assuming he starts at the 5. Karl-Anthony Towns, they've also kind of taken it easy on his minutes. A lot of the, for majority of the season, he's been playing low 30s minutes. I think you're going to get like 40 minutes from Cat here, assuming no foul trouble. But I really like Cat, especially if he starts at the 5. I think Anthony Edwards looks good too. It's a good matchup. So yeah, I mean, he's not really going to get a minutes bump, but he's still going to be the clear go-to guy. So I like Ant and I like Cat quite a bit here in a great matchup. And then slow-mo, it feels pricey, but to be honest, I think you're going to get huge minutes for him. He played 37 minutes last game, assuming no foul trouble. I honestly think you get around 40 minutes from Kyle Anderson, which I think makes him firmly in play. I think that price might leave some people sticker shock, but I actually really do like slow-mo as well. I think Conley's reasonable at 6'9". I think instead of the low 30s minutes he's been playing, he might play like high 30s minutes. So Conley is a reasonable option. Taurean Prince should start, in my opinion, and probably play a ton. He played 35 minutes last game. I think you get high 30s minutes from Taurean Prince, which actually makes him a pretty good play in the mid-range. Definitely one of my favorite plays in the mid-range. Off the bench, you should see McLaughlin and NAW. 4.2K for NAW, I think probably plays low to mid-teens minutes. McLaughlin maybe plays a little bit more. He's played 18 and 20 minutes over the last couple games. But both those guys are fine dart throws. And then my guess is that you see Nathan Knight as the backup 5. If you want to take that shot, you can. The issue is they could also go to Luka Garza. So again, my guess is this Knight, but they could go Garza as well. And then Noel, he's been out for the last few games. I guess if he plays, he could take some minutes away from like McLaughlin or NAW, or one of those guys could get a DNP if Noel plays. So keep an eye on the Noel news if he's available or not, but that's what I think will happen for Minnesota's rotation. And finally, the Lakers. So Lakers rotation, my guess is you're going to get the starters. So Anthony Davis, LeBron, D'Lo, Reeves, and Vanderbilt. I think you see Beasley off the bench at 6. I think you see Schroeder off the bench at 7, Troy Brown 8, and then one of Rui or Gabriel, my guess. So I think like one of those guys gets booted from the rotation. I guess they could technically go 8 guys and just boot both Rui and Gabriel and go Vanderbilt as the backup 5. But Rui actually, has been playing decently well on the offensive end. I think Troy Brown will be in the rotation just because he's a guy that, decent defender. But that's my guess for the Lakers rotation. So top guys, you got AD and you got LeBron. I think they're going to play about 40 minutes here. LeBron is one of those guys I think will get that minutes bump, right? He has not been playing a ton of minutes recently, been averaging low 30s. I think he's going to play about 40 minutes here. So I actually do like LeBron. Anthony Davis has been playing a bit more, but he should be able to feast against Karl Anthony Towns or like Garza / Nathan Knight. So I like AD and LeBron. The issue is, again, there's not a lot of value, and these guys are a little bit more pricey than some of the other spend ups we talked about, right? When you have both the Minnesota guys, like Ant and 9-1, Cat in the 8K range, you got Jimmy Butler 9K. It is a little bit trickier to prioritize LeBron and AD, but I still really do like their ceilings. D'Lo, Reeves, I'm probably not going to get to either. It is a revenge game for D'Lo if you're into that. He should play high 30s minutes. I expect Reeves to play mid 30s minutes. Again, they're not out of play, but I'm probably not going to go there. Vanderbilt been starting, but has not been playing huge minutes. He's like okay for salary relief. I think plays around 20 minutes. Schroeder, assuming he's good to go, which I think he will be, should play the backup point, should play, high teens to low 20s minutes. Feels a little bit pricey for him. Malik Beasley, if Schroeder plays, which I think he will, Beasley probably sees limited minutes. If Schroeder doesn't play, you might see a little bit more run from Malik Beasley. I do think you see Troy Brown in the rotation. He'll probably just get some backup minutes, maybe mid-teens. And then Rui / Wendy Gabriel. I think one of these guys could get booted from the rotation, so there's a little bit of risk here. But Rui, in the minutes he's been getting, he's been playing well. So if you're confident Rui for sure is going to play, then you can definitely go to him for salary relief. Gabriel, been playing a little bit of the backup 5, but again, I think he's a guy that actually could get booted from the rotation. So that's my thoughts for Lakers. And then, I don't think you see like Lonnie Walker or Mo Bamba. So that's going to wrap it up the video, guys. I'm super excited for these games tomorrow. If you have been enjoying the content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go check out the Prize Picks video if you guys are playing that. And we'll see you all in the next one.